Flamingo, and welcome to my Floss Stitch channel. I hope you have a little bit of time to sip, stitch, and fellowship. Hey y'all, welcome back. Thanks for spending some time with me on this Friday morning. I'm in a new spot in my craft room because I am redoing my craft room. It's not done yet, and I haven't hung everything back up because I want to paint, but we'll get into that a little later. Those of you who have been with me for a while are familiar with the layout of my floss tubes, and if you're new, welcome. But I like to start my floss tubes with a little prayer and praise because I just think we could all use some. And if prayer isn't your thing, I always say a kind word, a thoughtful gesture goes a long way. So we could all use some goodness in our life in whichever form it comes. So I would like us to continue to pray for all of those affected by Hurricanes Helene and Milton. I am still watching every day the progress, slow and steady, that is going on in the mountains of North Carolina. There are a lot of people still without power, still without water, living in tents. It's getting cold. The donations are pouring in. The help is pouring in from the communities everywhere. And praise God to that. Praise God that we have people willing to leave their homes and their families to go help others. We are far enough south in Florida that we weren't directly affected by Milton. We did get lots of rain before and lots of rain after. We got winds. We got an unprecedented amount of tornadoes in the state of Florida. So let us continue to pray and offer help when we can. Our community, our cross-stitch community, has come out in full force, and I'll talk about that as well a little bit later in the video. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I would venture to say that we all have been affected in some way or another by that nasty word breast cancer, or cancer in general. So let's pray for those who are going through treatment, pray for those who are just receiving the diagnosis, and let's praise God for all of those warriors that are here to tell their stories and continue on. October is also Alzheimer's Awareness Month. My mom suffered from dementia. So let's keep everyone who is dealing with this in their family. It is not easy. It is the slow goodbye, and I can testify that you do say goodbye to your loved ones twice. Once when they forget who they are and you are, and then again when it's time to send them on to their eternal home. So lots of prayers this week, but as I always say, where there's room for prayer, there's room for praise. And as I said before, let's praise all of the volunteers who have given their time and their talent, left their families to go help the victims of Helene and Milton. Praise God to all of you. A praise closer to home. Hobbies by Holly. Holly Neal, her grandson, is home from the hospital, and you talk about a little uplifting warrior. He is precious, and he is home. Her daughter is either about to have or has just had, I believe it's ankle surgery, so let's keep her in our prayers. But again, guys, please do not hesitate to reach out if you have specific prayers or praises that you would like to share with us, because we are honored and blessed to be part of your circle. And having said all of that, I will be right back because I got lots to show in these 3 weeks that I've been gone. I've been productive. I hope y'all are ready for this. And don't fall out of your chair because I don't recognize myself either. I have quite a few FFOs because now that I have restarted to really reorganize my studio, I have a sewing corner now for my finishing and my quilting. I've cleaned off my craft desk. I've organized my supplies. And it has been so much fun to be able to get back here in FFO. And my box was full to overflowing. So I had showed this a few weeks ago. This is Trophy Husband by Dirty Annie's. And I've said before, I changed the colors. My husband graduated from Georgia Tech. So this is the Georgia Tech colors. And I had bought these frames from Amazon probably when I got back into cross stitching, and just had them sitting there, and pulled them out, and this fit perfectly in it. And it's the dark wood of his office, and I know he's just going to be so proud to display this on the bookshelves in his office at work. I think I'm going to run it down there today and surprise him. I know. He's such a lucky guy. So, but I did just put it on foam board, put some quilting batting. I think I did 3 layers, and then I like to lace. It doesn't take too much longer, but to me, lacing lets me fidget with it as I'm doing it. These all had glass in it. They're 5x5s. I just took the glass out. And like I said, I bought this probably about 3 years ago on Amazon, but they came in a pack of 3. So it's done and out of the needing to be done box. I had started stitching this last November and didn't get around to finish it. So this is one of the whips I finished this year. This is a Plum Street, one of her stackables. And I apologize because I don't know what it's called. Maybe Turkey Trot, but I'm not sure. But I FFO'd it. I had some of this flannel that I had bought at Joann's. And then I just put a little felt square on the back because I like to do the slit in the back. This is some Lady Dots pom-pom trim. I love Lady Dots trim. And this trim was actually part of the Fanciful Sampler, my signature sampler with Little Robin Designs. And I had some left over. And I had ordered a bunch of Lady Dot trim trying to find the right color. And then I saw this when I was picking up and I said, it's perfect. It's stuffed with just polyfill. If it's a small pillow, I will do the walnut shells, or if I'm going to use it for a pincushion, because the walnut shells will help sharpen your needles. But if they're bigger pillows, I just like to use the polyfill so they don't get obnoxiously heavy. I found this little pack of 4 that I will show later in my purchases at Hobby Lobby in their fall trims. It had 4 fall colors. It was $4.99 and 50% off. So I just made a little bow to hide my bulb pin. And then these were from the jewelry section at Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off this week. And this came in like a ton of little keys. This had 2 acorns. And then I had bought a big package of 2024 charms from Amazon. And I just took a little bit of the antique rub because they were all silver. And just aged it a little bit since these were more of a gold or pewter. But I have an obsession with turkeys because I think I'm really more of a turkey than a flamingo, and I've said it before. Fluffy and short, not tall and skinny like a flamingo, but I guess I could be the terrific turkey. I don't know. I'd have to think about that if I change my name. Although I've been frogging a lot this week, so the flamingo could turn into a frog. But I digress again. I had finished stitching this when I went up to a stitchy retreat with the Loopy Stitchers back in the spring in Jacksonville. Edith and Jean hosted it. And it was just sitting there ready to be finished. And so I did. I found this fabric that I had bought several years ago at Hobby Lobby on the clearance. And so I thought that was perfect for the backing. This is an October House Fiber Arts. This is Pumpkin Fair by October House Fiber Arts. And I used all the call for colors. Again, I used Lady Dot Creates Chenille. And then I know I got this in a pack, I think from Floss and Blocks, of fall fabric. Again, I love to slit the back. And I'm going to show you something in a minute, but this one I sewed the chenille like Vonna Pfeiffer taught us to do. So I hand stitched the chenille on. I do like to hand stitch. I don't like to use hot glue or even Aleene's glue when I can help it. So this again is Pumpkin Fair by October House Fiber Arts. So I made it into a little pillow. Cute. And then my son had 2 big bowling tournaments this month. One was district and one was regional. And it was all day. And when I say all day, we met for breakfast at 6:45 in the morning and we left the bowling alley at 7 o'clock at night. Yeah, we did. And so I had taken Pumpkin Row by October House Fiber Arts to do. And I did this that day while they were bowling. People were coming up to me all day long, probably jealous that I had something to do besides watch the bowling. So I finished it the same way, same fabrics, but this time I used the Aleene's glue to put the chenille on because I just wanted to see the difference. And y'all, it is on there like Donkey Kong. It is fabulous. I'm torn now whether I want to keep sewing my trims on or using Aleene's glue because it was, and I mean, you can see when it dries, there's no remnants of the glue. So I've got these 2 together and they look so cute. I mean, of course they do. They're October House Fiber Arts. Look at that. Look at that. Love them. Love them. And I'm actually thinking of taking these little pumpkins and doing little either scissor fobs or something with each individual one. Yeah. I am. I know. I'm so creative. There's more, don't you worry. My dear sweet friend Shelly Fry, antique needleworker, came out. She says she's going to do 16 of them, and I called her immediately and said, I am on the search for a bowl to hold all 16 of your pillows, pincushions. And so her next one, her latest one is Be Ye Thankful. I bought it. She shipped it right away. And I'm sorry I paused. A door opened and I'm supposed to be alone in my house, but it might have been the dog. But we have Be Ye Thankful. And I used all of her called for fancy flosses. This stitched up in a day. I had, again, some upholstery fabric that I had bought on clearance a few years ago at Hobby Lobby, and I just knew it would be perfect. And these buttons are from Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby's buttons now are like 99 cents and $1.99 for the packs. I know one of these I made. I don't know where I got this other one, but I just love me some pins in my pillows. The only thing that I did was she had some confetti stitches here, and I put beads on them. I have a whole bunch of little beads and stuff, and I thought, you know what? It needs a little sparkle. But if this season has ever taught us anything, it is that we need to be thankful. So thankful for everything that, all of God's graces. So, it's already up in my dough bowl. And Shelly, no pressure, but I'm waiting on the other 14. I have the I don't know if it's Be Loved. It's something about love was her first one. So, I'm not done yet, y'all. I finished this one last year and never made it into an ornament. And this is, it's the small with the Halloween Tiny Town. It's the companion piece to it that I had. And I have a very little fiber optic Halloween tree that's just got some hands-on design, no, heart and hand, square dance ornaments on it. And then I came across this little ghost pin in my stash. Put little pumpkin fabric on the back, little felt, little button, and disclosure, I forgot to put the little hoop on it when I was sewing it, so I just added it after. But again, this is the little small, I think it's called a frill companion piece to the Halloween Tiny Town. So now I have another ornament on my tree. And then this one I redid. I had done this one, and this is Cricket Studios, I think. No, Sweetwater. I had made it into a pillow, and it was a little, I had made it a little bit bigger than this, but it was small enough that it was getting lost in my dough bowl. And I kept looking at it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to unstitch it, unsew it, and make it a little bit smaller, and add some rickrack for a little loop, and put it on my tree. And I'll add a picture of my tree into either the intro or the exit book. So that is another ornament for my little Halloween tree. And I feel like I could leave it up all the time. I mean, all through fall. So let me see. I think that's all of my FFOs. That's enough, isn't it? I know I've done good, but let me tell you, when your studio is clean, you just really feel like you can create. And I am loving it. And I'm being good. I am picking up my messes after I finish, instead of just letting it stack up into like a Jenga game. So let's see. I also have some FOs, believe it or not. I don't have the pattern with me right now, but I know it's a Plum Street, and it's from Jack's shop. It's the tart. So I finished that, and it's in all the call for colors. And I think I'm going to, I've got some wooden hoops. I think I'm going to put it in a hoop. Unless I can find a tart that size. But I did a lot of, even though I am doing Hallows Eve by Liz Matthews, I took a break and did some smalls this month, just because I felt like I had done a lot of big pieces lately. And I needed some smalls. Sometimes it is really nice to be able to start and finish something. And so this was a start and a finish for October. I mean, you just can't go wrong with Plum Street colors. I mean, these are both Plum Streets, and look at the colors. Just look at the colors. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that was a start and a finish for October. And then I did this one on the plain back from Stitch New England. This was a freebie at the Cross Stitch Cover probably 2 years ago. And I bought it to do on linen before I really stitched linen. So full confession, I started it 2 years ago on a piece of linen. And this was when I swore I would never do linen because I couldn't see the little holes. And put it down. And literally, it was in a stack on my craft desk, and it would move from the top of my computer to the side, to underneath, to back on a pile. For 2 years, the pattern and this piece of fabric just moved back and forth. And when I was packing up and looking for things to take to the retreat, I saw it, and I was like, you know what? We're just getting it done. It's small. Why do I keep moving it around the desk? So this was a freebie. I will look and see who it was by and put it in the notes at the bottom. I did a conversion to color and cotton with it because it was just 3 colors. And I have a ton of color and cotton floss that I have told myself now I'm going to use. And when I can do conversions, I'm gonna. So I will tell you that the 2020, it was 2022, I think, on the pattern was charted for a red, but I liked it all in gold. And then, because I was in that beading mood, I thought, well, let's zhuzh it up a little bit, and where there should be little bead or little, like 2 or 3 stitch flowers, let's just put some beads. And so not the beading, but the stitching of it, I stitched it up. I had a flight from Philadelphia to Fort Lauderdale. It was about 2.5 hours, and that's what I did. And then the other day I put on my stories, should I make it into a pillow or an ornament? An ornament won by a landslide on Facebook and Instagram. And so I had this ornament from Hobby Lobby. It was $2.99, and it was probably 40 or 50% off. And I have a bunch of these that I buy through the years. So I am going to finish it onto this piece. So I have an FFO that maybe by the next time we meet, I'll have an FFO. And then at the retreat, I had a start and a finish. I want to now, I am rethinking some of my stitching for 2025 because I have a vision for how I want my studio to look and stitchy pieces that I want in the studio. And one of the things that I want in here is I have a silver bowl, and I want to put pin cushions in it that have to do with sewing and tomatoes. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. So I have this pattern by Lucy Bean. I will poke you. And I will. I sure will. And so I did a conversion to coloring cotton. This is, it's either a 32 or a 36. I changed, she had her woman's sleeve with red, but y'all know that my favorite colors are like dark green and pink. And since I knew it was going to go in this room, I wanted her sleeve to be green. And I'm going to finish it into a little pin keep cushion. And the only thing I have left to do is at the very bottom here. At the very bottom there was a little black stitch, and I'm going to put a black bead. I got so many compliments and people laughing at me doing this at the retreat because it's true. If you talk to me while I am counting and stitching, I will poke you. So I just love that. And that was a start and a finish at the retreat. So y'all don't think that I didn't stitch at this retreat, because I did. I set my little booty down and just had the best time with Kathy and Missy and Tracy, OG Stitchery, and my friend Jane, and my bestie Deb Pryor. If you ordered, again, my fanciful sampler with the little robin design, you got a tomato scissor fob. Those are made by Deb Pryor. She is just so talented. She is just a creator extraordinaire. So I just sat at my table and visited with my friends and stitched the whole time. And I made a new bestie, Nicole. She was at Library Stitchers. She was the one that was in charge of the raffle tickets. But I got to spend some more time with her at Stitch New England. And that's the great thing about retreats that we always talk about, is the friends that you make. So I will talk a little bit about Stitch New England in my chit chat today, but that is it for my FOs and FFOs. And I will be right back with just the one continuing stitch that I have for this month. Y'all don't go away. So my only whip for this month, I have been, and I keep calling this Hallows Eve. It's called Quaker Pumpkin by Liz Matthews. And I think, if I remember right, it came out in 2022 at the Fall Expo. And I had been wanting to stitch it since then, and finally got around to starting it this year. And she's a big one. Trying to peek around and see if y'all can see the whole thing. And I did take this with me to Stitch New England, and I did stitch on the plane, and I did stitch a little bit there. And I did pieces like up here and the chains and things that would be repetitive that I didn't have to look at the pattern. And I worked on this a lot on the plane right up. So full disclosure, I did have to frog a section here last night. The one thing when you're doing Quakers is that they are very symmetrical, and if you get a stitch off, You can't flub it. But I think that's also why I love them. So I'm using all the call for colors, and they're all Weeks colors. I am going to have to order another skein of gunmetal. I just haven't been able to find it. Everybody's using gunmetal this fall, I guess. But I am loving it. Now, Carrie, Tiger Lily, showed hers in her floss tube 2 weeks ago. And mentioned that Georgia Girl Stitching had recharted the bottom to say, instead of All Hallows Eve, I think it says Autumn Blessings. And I did go look on her Instagram and followed the link, and she shares it with you for free. And so I am going to download that and stitch it with Autumn Blessings. Because let me tell y'all something. I thought this had a lot of white space, negative space, and I loved it. And I thought, oh, there's a lot of stitching in this thing. She's a big girl. She's a big girl. And so you best believe that when I finish this, I'm going to have it up all fall. So I have 3 more pumpkins to do, the quilt stars, and then finishing up the borders on the top and bottom. Which sometimes I think, oh, that's not that much. And then I sit and start stitching. I'm like, oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. But look at these. I love them. I love them. I love Liz Matthews. Let's face it, I love every designer. So part of me wanting to do this is, oh, I did have another 2 more finishes. I was about to cut myself short. My thought is going to be, now that I've moved my stitchy things around, is that this will be my seasonal stitch wall, and I will switch out my stitches as my backdrop with the seasons. And so I was trying to be very deliberate in the pieces that I chose so that I could have things to finish for next year. This was a Kathy Barrick Seasons that we did at Chantel's Pep Rally last September. This one right here. It is held on there by command hooks, but I'm afraid I'll peel the paint off. And I had to leave the retreat early. I wasn't feeling well. And this blessed thing also got lost on my desk. And I would find the paddle and then not find the stitch. Then I'd find the stitch and not find the batting. And finally, when I moved everything out of here to redo the room, I found all of the pieces. Because I had finished the stitch. And so it is finished exactly the way the pattern and Kathy's instructions showed. Part of Kathy Haberman's class at the pep rally was on lacing. And so that is done. And this is held on with magnets. So I have bought her other seasons, and I'm going to stitch them and switch them out onto the paddle. And then this it's also held on by a command strip. Let's just see right now how easy it is to take off the wall. Well, pretty damn easy. This was the JBW Autumn Alphabet. And I recharted this in all Cottage Garden threads. Again, 2 years ago at the expo, several designers created designs off of a 4-pack of Cottage Garden threads. And when I was going through my autumn stitch box, I found it. And this pattern was in there. This was not part of that. But I was like, I'm going to stitch it with the Cottage Garden threads. And that's what I did. And then the only other color I added from that pack was, I always do my witch's shoes in red. Always. No matter what it's charted. So that was switched out to red. And then I did leave out 2 motifs because I have had this frame for years. I thrifted it at Goodwill and was trying to find a piece for it. And the frame actually had, somebody gifted this to a teacher at one time, and it had a little teachers are our greatest gifts or something on it. And it went this way. And I was really looking for a stitch this way. But I just knew this would be perfect for it. And so, let's see if it'll stay on the wall now. Since my husband suggested command hooks. And I laced it, foam, three layers of batting because I like fluffy. I don't know why my dogs are barking. Probably get an Amazon delivery. Be shocked if I didn't. And so that is part of my goal, is that this wall will switch out all the time with seasonal stitchings. So I'm going to pause for a moment and see. I mean, you know they're barking on this side of the glass. If they were on the other side, they'd be cowering in fear. Couldn't have fit a twig. Barking at a man walking his dog. Foolishness. Again, from this side of the glass. So, as I have mentioned several times, last weekend I had the pleasure to attend Stitch New England in Rhode Island. And that is Pam Dumont's shop, Stitch New England, and this is her second year of hosting this retreat, and it was fabulous. And Rhode Island is fabulous. And our friend Deb that I mentioned Thursday morning, because the retreat started Thursday afternoon, I flew in Wednesday night. Missy and Kathy, everybody else got in there Thursday morning. Well, she was sweet enough to take us around Thursday. And we went antiquing, and we went to a quilt shop, which I will talk about later. But there was also the biggest trunk show I've ever seen. I think there were 22 vendors at this trunk show, and then Stacy's shop. So did I do some shopping? Yes, I did. Did I need anything? Need is a suggestive word, people. And so I brought my haul from the retreat bag in this bag, handcrafted by Harvey, my friend Lisa, who is a Floridian, made these bags for her table mates and some of us, and she had made me a Stitch Florida one when she came to my retreat. But look at this bag, y'all. And this bag is big because it fits a lot of stuff. It fits a lot of stuff. So here are my purchases from Stitch New England. I bought 3 JBW stockings. This is a Stitcher stocking, and I'm almost positive I have this one, but I couldn't remember, so when I put it up, if I did, one of y'all will be lucky and get it. I have a Bristol stocking. And I have Fleur de Noël. And the model to this one was stitched in greens. I haven't decided yet if I'll do the pinks or the greens, or maybe I'll do a combination of both. And for all I know, I have this one too. I probably have all 3 because I buy everything that's JBW. Hush. Then I got Mother's Garden by Blackbird Designs, because I didn't have this one, which is shocking. Just trying to see. I think that these are stitched in black, like blackbirds. I think I'm gonna change those. But I bought a Mother Stocking Blackbird. And then I bought Dear Daughter for my daughter. So, and then I did not have this Liz Matthews one. Somebody came to the table and had purchased it, and I ran back to the shop and got it. Patchwork spools. And so, again, I will insert a picture at the beginning or the end, but where my sewing table is now, that was the wall that I used to sit at that had all of my samplers behind it. But now I want to put samplers that have to do, or designs that have to do with sewing along that wall, around my printer's box that has all my spools and everything, and my thimbles. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, it will be perfect on that wall. And this one is charted in all DMC. She does a lot of NPI, but this one is charted strictly in, oh, it's a 2024. I wonder, I hadn't seen it. In DMCs. And then, y'all know that's my favorite word. Remember me. And I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I saw this and fell in love with it. It made me think of my mama. My mama's been on my heart a lot lately. And so I thought, well, I'll stitch this for her. Because I remember her all the time. We never forget our mamas. Oh, Lord, another blackbird. Little birds. In all fairness to me, the blackbird display was right beside the cash register. So every time I would go check out, I would just peruse it. So little birds. And then the Stitchy Witchy Bell Pull. And I don't do a lot of Halloween, but I love a witch's boot. You know, I'll do that in red. And I mean, it has a tomato. And it says, after Twilight's embrace, witches weave spells with needles and lace. So it's got the spools up there. It's got the thimble and the needle. It's got the buttons. It's got the scissors. I will change these colors out a little bit, the purples. For all of y'all that are purple fans, I respect you. I'm just not a purple girl. But I like it. Threadworks Primitives, Be Mine. If y'all know me, it's just kind of a weird, kind of dumb luck thing that all of my Valentine's pillows that I've stitched have the saying, Be Mine on it. And last year, the Camping Stitcher Chris did a pillow with Be Mine, and I stitched it immediately because of it. So I think, and I could be wrong, but this might have been on the freebie table, but I could be wrong. But I know I got it because it said Be Mine. And then y'all know I have a thing for turkeys. And Bent Creek. There are certain designers that are just timeless. And it doesn't matter when they designed it. It's relevant all the time. But look, and y'all know I love sheep. Because I am a sheep in the Lord's field. He is my shepherd. I'm usually the one falling off the cliff or going in the opposite direction. I'm the lost sheep all the time, but I love sheep. So, a sheep with turkey feathers. Y'all, come on. Come on. And that is by Bent Creek. Seriously. She had me at Gobble. A sheep and turkey feathers. And then this Bent Creek, a turkey on a pumpkin egg. Turkey on an egg. Turkey on an egg. So I'm going to have more turkeys for my pillows, for my dough bowls. My dough bowls are going to have dough bowls. I was so sad when I started redecorating the house, and I'm really not like a dough bowl, tier tray kind of decorator in my house. But when I was redoing my studio and I had like this vision of what I wanted, I was like, I can have all the bowls and trays and everything in here. And I have taken that to heart. Ask my husband. By the Bay Needle Art. This is a little different for her as far as her designs. But look, it's two patterns. It's a sewing machine pattern. And then this two ladies sitting and stitching together. Because isn't that what... I mean, y'all know I love to sit and stitch and chat. By the Bay. Perfect for my room. If y'all can tell now, I've had my room, my new room on my mind. So this was by the Blue Flower, Janine McGowan. I count not my day complete till needle, thread, and fabric meet. Yes, ma'am. And this one's also charted all in DMC. This would, well, no, it's not going to be a quick stitch because of all the stuff around it, but It does have specialty stitches, some straight stitches, some underlying cross stitches, and there's some straight stitches, but nothing difficult. I mean, if you wanted to, you really could. On the back, it has just this part. But I do like all of this. But we'll see. Maybe I will just do the middle. It depends on if Contented Needleworker Kim is in my ear that day. The Mighty Oak. I have wanted this one. This one just came out by Kathy Barrick, and y'all know I love Kathy Barrick, and I had it, Pam had NPIs at her shop, so I kitted it up so I could start it. The Mighty Oak. This is a new release from this fall from Kathy Barrick. So, yep. Yep. And then I have a few more of the Primitive Hair patterns, and I saw going to be at Hobby House next October, and fingers crossed I get into that one because I would love to go. She has a lot of the Queen of the Needles, different seasons, and this is Yu's Queen of the Needles. I don't know if I'll do it into the little book. She does hers on 30 count fabric that she dyes and creates. They didn't have any of the fabric there that went with these. They might have already been sold by the time I got to this portion. So I'm going to order her 30 count and do it on that. And then she had the Queen of the Needle series samplers maker. So I got that one. And then she had Bee Queen of the Needles. And I think these are all done on 30 count. Yeah, 30 count Salem linen. And so I'm just going to go to her website and order straight from her. And then I did buy a little bit of fabric. When I went through my fabric, I started on the journey to get to linen, like really started it last year. And what I did is I progressed from 18 count to 25 count to 28 count. Then I went to Lugana, 32. And then I went to linen, 32, and now 36. I have tried one piece on 40, and it just did not work for me. It was difficult to see. I was probably going to have to use a magnifier. That is not enjoyable to me. I get the enjoyment out of the stitching. 36, I can just use my glasses. So we're stopping at 36. I have lots of 32. I really don't have a lot of 36. And so I wanted to specifically buy some 36 for my collection. And y'all know I love Atomic Ranch. I think Michael is one of the greatest human beings I have ever met in my entire life. We are working together on the Annie's signature sampler for the New Year's box. And he is just a joy. So I was tickled pink that Atomic Ranch was the featured fabric vendor at Pam's retreat. And so I bought some 36 embellish. I have it in 32. I probably had it in 16, 18, every count. But I bought a fat half. And just let me tell you that I started to buy a fat quarter. Excuse me one moment. Oh, excuse me. And then when they went to cut it, I was like, never mind, don't cut into that beautiful fabric. I'll take the half yard. So this is Bayou linen, 36 count. Look at that. This was an 1/8 of a yard just because that's what they had. And this was a Summer Khaki by Zweigart. This was from R&R Reproductions, Vintage Homespun. Again, they had an 1/8 of a yard of 36. And this is all they had was an 1/8 of a yard, or I would have bought it all. Why did I buy 40 count? I don't even know how this got in my thing. This is Atomic Ranch, a Terra Linen. Well, this will be gifted to someone because I bought 40 count without thinking. I'm telling you, I just get possessed when I start buying. I just get possessed. So that's what I bought at the retreat, not needing another pattern. And then I'll be right back. And y'all need to just listen. Let's take a break, get you some coffee, make yourself a Pop-Tart, pop some popcorn, depending on watching. I mean, you really have time to sit down with a 5-course meal for the quilting purchases that have been made since the last time we spoke. Purchases have been made for quilting. Quilting has not been done, but purchases have been made. I'll be right back. So, full disclosure, after the last floss tube, I did go over that day to my friend Susie's house with the jelly roll strips that I had starched. There was going to be the Swoon, and then I decided to do the Contessa, which was a free pattern by Moda. And Susie helped me, and I stitched up a bunch of the strips and learned a lot from her. And she helped me cut up a few of those strips that day, and that was the last that I touched, that quilt. And that was 3 weeks ago today. I do plan to do more on that one today. Fridays are going to be kind of my quilt sewing day. So that's all I have done as far as quilting. I don't even know. Does that count as quilting or is that sewing? Whatever. That week, the next weekend, I was supposed to go to a quilt. Well, I signed up for 2 different beginning quilting classes. The first one was postponed to November. And that's going to be on Tuesday mornings, and it will start November 5th. The second beginning quilting class, I thought, oh, I could do just a Saturday and get it done. My husband left on a trip, and so it didn't work out, and I did not get to go to that class. So I've yet to take a beginning quilting class. As you can see, totally not my fault. But to be prepared to be a full-on quilter, I have watched tons of floss tube video, or quilting videos, not floss tube videos. I have tons of patterns that I want to do, and I have purchases. Now this one, my husband had to go to Pennsylvania. Well, he didn't have to go. He went to his half-sister's daughter's wedding, his niece's wedding, a few weeks ago. And my son had bowling, and my daughter had stuff, so we were not able to go with him. But he went to Pennsylvania, and he went to Amish country without me. And he brought me a jelly roll, the Tinseltown jelly roll. He had asked me, and I was like, you know what? Any jelly roll will do. I will love it. This looks like it has like gingerbread houses and stuff on it. And so he got me this. This is a Robert Kaufman. He did tell me that when he went into a lot of the quilt, he went by himself to quilt shops in Amish country, that the shops were mainly already made quilts and quilt accessories. They didn't have a lot of like fabric and stuff. And so I don't know where he found this, but we are actually going to go back as a family. We're going to fly up, and then we're going to rent a car and drive back down. Is my husband not the greatest? And does he not know me? He's like, there is no way I could take you up to quilt country and you be able to fly back. He's like, we would have to rent a plane for the amount of stuff that you would bring. So my children may have to walk home because there may not be even room for them in the car with antiques and quilting, please. But he bought me this one. So I have this jelly roll now. And then, I don't know what I was watching. And my friend Susie has this as well. But I don't know what quilt tube I was watching that they were using the Hey Boo by Moda for something. And so I bought the Hey Boo jelly roll. And 2 mini charm packs. And these 2 mini charm packs, I actually remember when I went to order it, I was like, oh, I don't need 1. I should get 2 for whatever project I was going to do. And now I don't know what I was watching, but I ordered it. In fact, whatever it was, I paused it and ordered it. Forgot I ordered it. And then right before I left for New England, it came in the mail. And I was like, only I would buy jelly rolls. And then knowing I was going to a quilt shop. And then, once again, I know I was watching something, and I bought this Let It Bloom layer cake by Raleigh Blake. And here are all the fabrics in it. I'm a pink and green girl, so if it's got pink and green, you know I'm going to buy it. If anybody knows what to do with this, y'all let me know. Not a lick of sense. And then Deb took us to a quilt shop in Rhode Island. And most of what I'm watching now in the quilt tubes, if that's what they're called, are jelly roll quilts. Because that I'm comfortable with. That I don't know why, they just soothe my soul. And so I bought Moda's Union Square jelly roll in New England. Like a little Leaning Tower piece of jelly rolls. I bought Meadowmere jelly roll by Moda. I love these colors. And I bought, this is by Moda, Favorite Things. I think this is a Christmas one. Looks like it. One, two, there's 5 of them right there. And then I bought a charm pack and Overjoy. Just for the record, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. And then I bought Slow Stroll by Moda's charm pack. I'm not done yet. I bought 2 of the Garden Haven Moda mini charm packs. I can hear y'all laughing. And then I bought my Summer House 2 mini charm packs by Moda. And if y'all are telling me that I could make project bags with these, save your breath. Because if you saw how many project bags I own, I didn't even realize because I had them in different areas until I put them all together. Jess, Como Stitches, I just want you to know that you can now go ahead and buy your private island. And then I went antique shopping several times. And I've posted. I've bought in 3 weeks, for sure, 3 small sewing machines. I found this little sampler at the Antique Mart. I don't know if it's vintage or not. This is how it's done on the back. It's probably not, but I loved it. I loved the frame. I loved everything about it. I would love to chart and stitch this and put an A on it. It's just sweet as can be, but I love it. I love it. I'm trying to look around and see what else I've bought. I've bought a lot of stuff lately, but it's all because I'm redoing my studio, so it's for a good cause. Although I did make the mistake of, I should have reorganized my studio the weekend that Vince was in Pennsylvania, but dumb me decided to do it the week he got back so he could help me move everything out of this room. We're still married, but we're hanging on by a thread, y'all. Pray for us. Pray for us. He was a good sport. He only had to walk out and take deep breaths like 5 times. But I'm cute and have a sparkling personality, which I reminded him of several times. And I can cook. He should keep me. I'll be right back after I put all this stuff up because I am not going to clutter up my craft room again. And then we'll just sit and chit-chat for a minute. So, little life updates on the family. Gavin bowling season has come to an end. They were in, I think the top 4 goes from district or regionals to district or district to regional, something like that. And then they had that bowling tournament this Monday, which was an all-day event again. The boys team did not make it to state, but the girls team is going to state Monday. So bowling is done for him for the school bowling. He's still on a bowling league on Saturday mornings. He is loving school. He is doing great. He went to homecoming with a group of friends. He is working hard on getting his volunteer hours. Here in the state of Florida, you need 40 volunteer hours to graduate. You need 100 to qualify for, it's one of the qualifications for the Bright Future scholarships that are done through the lottery. My daughter is on a full ride with her Bright Futures scholarship. She had the grades, the SAT score, and then the volunteer hours. So he is working towards that tonight. He is going back to his elementary school to volunteer, helping with the pizza sales for their Batty Bingo, which is a PTA fundraiser. My daughter is just doing phenomenal in college, and she is now well into her accounting major degree and loving it, working for her father full-time as well. So she has a full load. She still lives at home, but I don't get to see her that often because she's either working or going to school. And my husband is just tolerating my crazy life and supporting me and being wonderful. Y'all, he's a very patient man. I am working on the last of the bi-monthly boxes, but I don't want to talk about that in our chit chat. We'll do a little shop update about the boxes and the retreat and the sampler at the end. What else am I doing? Taking care of 3 dogs that I didn't ask for, that I love. Working on my craft room. I'm looking at the wall that needs to be taken down to start painting it. I will be quilting some, I hope, in the near future. But I'd love to hear from y'all as to what you've got going on. We did not decorate outside for Halloween. My husband and son usually do a big Halloween production, and I feel bad because everybody in the neighborhood asks, and the little kids like to see it and walk through all of the displays. But with the hurricanes, I mean, we would have only had 2 weeks, and it's a lot of work. So I usually do not decorate for Christmas until the week of Thanksgiving, but I don't know. I may just start doing some things November 1st. I'm kind of in a funk this year. I don't know why. I wasn't really motivated to decorate a lot for fall. Like, I had to make myself do it. And up until right now, I haven't found my mojo yet for Christmas. I've also been reflecting a lot on my stitching for 2025. I thought I was going to do another set out 2 a month and have them all kitted. And I have a lot of stuff kitted up. But again, since I'm redoing this room and I'm thinking about the stitches that I want in this room, I think I am going to focus my 2025 stitching on what I want this room to look like, which would actually make my husband happy because then I'm not putting holes in the rest of the house. but you never know. But I think that's going to be my plan for 2025, and I'm going to work on a lot of smalls. I did bigs in 2024 and mediums. I think I'm going to focus a lot on smalls and pillows, and going back to some Hobby Lobby finishing FFOs. This year was a year of taking things to the framers. And if you saw my Instagram this week, I just dropped off 3 more things at the framers. And while I'm so happy to be getting things out of my finishing box and up on my wall and enjoying them, it is not for the faint of heart. And I lace small things. I don't mind framing some small things. But if they are bigger pieces and they have taken me a month or months to stitch, I prefer a professional frame it. But having said that, I also miss having little pieces to put out. So, love to hear from you. What do you love to stitch? Do you like to do a mix? Do you like to do bigger samplers? Do you like to do smaller pieces that you can finish and display? I don't know. But I think 2025 is going to be maybe just a few bigger samplers, and then the rest are going to be little small things. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I am not a seasonal stitcher, and I was actually surprised when I was getting my fall/Halloween stuff out, how much fall stuff I actually had stitched, because fall is not my favorite season. My favorite season is spring. And not because I live in Florida, because I lived in Georgia and South Carolina until 10 years ago. I am a transplant to Florida, and what I don't like about Florida, South Florida, is that I have no seasons. We are in a perpetual summer, and not the fun summer. But I have a lot of fall pieces. I do not have a lot of Christmas, which surprises me because I vomit Christmas all over our house. I have maybe 11 trees, but not a lot of Christmas stitching, and I think just because Christmas gets so busy. So that's the other thing I would like to do. I think I'm going to stitch fall, unless I change my mind like Jessica did. I think I'm going to stitch more fall through November. And then I may skip stitching some Christmas this year and go into stitching spring and Easter. I mean, Valentine's Day, I do have a little pillow, a little bowl, and I do have a few things for St. Patty's Day, but let's face it, Villarchow really isn't an Irish name. So I think I may do some seasonal stitching next year, but maybe start the year gearing up towards some spring and Easter stuff. And then once spring and Easter has passed, patriotic, which I love patriotic, and I don't have a lot of patriotic. And then once maybe July hits, start some Christmas stitching. That is my thought for the coming year. Yes, I am a planner, and my plans have plans, and I get overwhelmed if I have just open-ended, loosey-goosey stitching. I know a lot of y'all like to pick up what y'all feel that morning. Usually what I feel in the morning are aches and pains, and a great desire to go back to bed. So I can't necessarily say that stitching ever calls particularly for me until I see something on somebody's video. But that's a whole nother story. I had said, once again, that I was not going to buy patterns anymore. I wanted to focus on, and I don't need floss, because I almost have full sets of Classic Colorworks, Color and Cotton. I have full set of Gast. I have almost a full set of Weeks. I have the full set of the flower threads. I have the full set of DMC. I don't need, but yeah, there's always one floss that you don't have. I don't know how I work that. But fabric, especially now that I'm stitching, I'm good on 32, I think, but I would like to invest in more 36. And I say that, and then I go to a retreat or I watch a video, and it all goes out the window. I said I wasn't going to do a lot of retreats in 2025, I put my name in the hat for the Barefoot Landing, the Barefoot Stitching Retreat in February, and I just got notification that I got in. And I really wanted to do that one because it's in Myrtle Beach, which is about 60 miles from Florence, which is what I consider home. So I am going to go up and spend a whole week and be in Florence with my friends, and then hop over to Myrtle Beach for that retreat. I am on the wait list for the Sampler Symposium in July with the Attic. Fingers crossed that I get in. That is a bucket list for me. And then I do have the Library Stitchers Retreat in April. I have our retreat, mine and Annie's, Stitch Florida 2025 in September. And then I am really considering doing the Hobby House Primitive Hair Retreat in October of next year. I would love to go to Hobby House. So those are plans. Immediate plans, let's do some shop talk. The last box for the bi-monthly subscription is Chrissy Finally a Farm Girl, and it will ship out the first week in November. I just got the patterns in this week from Chrissy. It's just amazing. And Chantel finished it on one of her boards, and the fabric and from Raleigh Blake, the trim from Lady Dot Creates, the board from Chantel, and that pattern are just sublime. Sublime. We do still have a few left that are in the one-time purchase in my Shopify shop, and the link is in my bio or on my Instagram. The link is also in my Instagram bio. The signature sampler boxes with the proper stitchers New Year's sampler went on sale October 15th. There are only 100 this time. There are 60 kits available with the 36 count linen from Atomic Ranch, and there are 40 kits available with the 18 count Ada from Atomic Ranch. The threads this time are all by Vicki Clayton Silks. The pins again are Jersey Girl. My friend Deb Pryor is making another bespoke scissor fob that goes with the pattern. We have a bespoke needle minder by Moose Designs going in this one. We again have some beautiful scissors. It is just, and the pattern is just amazing. Again, that is a one-time purchase. It is not a subscription for the signature sampler box. Those boxes are $1.99. The box for December is different. The bi-monthly Chrissy's is, I think if we have 20 left, maybe, because I ordered some extras of everything. I really wanted people maybe who had never ordered the box or were considering the boxes for the new year to be able to buy a one-time box. That's how I started this last year, a year ago. And then, as I have said in previous Floss Tubes, next year's Fanciful Flamingo boxes are the Fanciful Flamingo Flies Around the World. There will be quarterly boxes. There will be 4. We will start with the Spanish Stitcher in Spain. Then we will come back to Washington State with Sambry Stitches for the second one in April. Then we will go back across the pond for Cosford Rise. And then we will end the year at Christmas time in Canada with the Tiny Modernist. Those will be subscription boxes, and those will go on sale at the beginning of November. Once again, when you sign up for those, you are signing up for a subscription, which means you will be billed quarterly for the box. The subscription is yours to manage. It is your subscription. Emailing the shop, DMing me is not going to start or stop your subscription. You must go into your Shopify account and do any changes or updates to your account. I cannot update credit card information for you. I cannot update your subscriptions for you. I cannot update or change addresses for you. These are private accounts. You do not want anyone to have access to them. So when you sign up for your subscription, please make sure that you put an email address in that you are going to receive notifications in. I have a dummy email address that when they ask you to sign up for stuff at stores for discounts that I use, that I never check. So I get it. We don't spam you. We don't send you 100 messages. There's nothing to upsell because the only thing I do are now quarterly subscription boxes and signature sampler boxes. So I am not going to send you a million emails about things to purchase. Shopify does not do that either. It is just kind of an in-between tool for those of us who want a website without the expense of having a website. So again, I say all of that to say, please, please, please make sure that you write down your email and your password to your account so that you can access it when you need to make changes. That was just a big issue this year. If you need to reach me, if you have questions, anything like that, please send all of your questions, things like that, to shop@fancifulflamingo.com. Shop@fancifulflamingo.com. I am in and out. I do travel. My daughter does check it as well. So that is where you are going to get your quickest response. I am not going to respond to you on instant messages, private messages, because I just don't check them. I don't. I go on social media, I post, I look at other people's posts, and then I get off. The Fanciful Flamingo page or group on Facebook is a community group for all of us to share our stitching on. I do not sell any of my own products on the Fanciful Flamingo page because I ask everyone else not to use it as a sell page. So if you have questions about the retreat, email me at shop@fancifulflamingo.com. The retreat is sold out right now. There is a wait list and there is a link to Shopify if you would like to sign up to be on the wait list. It is September 18th through 20th of 2025 in Altamonte Springs, Florida, which is like a little suburb of Orlando. It is at the Embassy Suites. It will follow the same kind of itinerary schedule as our last one did. We do not have a designer. It is kind of a free stitch retreat. We do have vendors, so we have a little shopping. We do play games. We have some presentations. But at the moment, it is sold out, and there is a wait list for that. If you would like to get on it or want any more information on the retreat, again, please email me at shop@fancifulflamingo.com. Do not ask me questions on the page on Facebook. Do not ask to be added to the wait list on Facebook. That is a community page for all of us to share our cross-stitching love. I think that's it for the shop updates. I really don't like ending with that. It's just, my joy comes from just chit-chatting with y'all, sitting back. When I look at the camera, I think I'm talking to you guys as if you were sitting right across from me with your cup of coffee or tea or your soda, and that we are just stitching and chatting, because that is what I really love. I just love this community so much. And having said all of that, I guess that's the end of this floss tube. I will be back in 2 weeks to chat with y'all again. There's no telling what I'll buy for the next time. Shoot, I might even pick up another hobby at this point. I have so much room in my craft room now. Y'all have a great weekend. We are we are getting to the end of October. Who can believe it? If you have children or grandchildren or nieces and nephews, neighbors that are trick-or-treating, I pray that they all have a super fun filled night with lots of candy and that everyone is safe. I guess I'll see you in November. Holy moly. Bye, y'all. And don't forget, if you can choose anything in life, choose joy. Oops, I forgot to do the giveaways. The dogs are in here with me now. So yay, I didn't end on Shop Talk, Georgia. I forgot to do the giveaways from the last one. So for the Halloween charts from Annie the Proper Stitcher, Cheryl Culbertson, you are getting that gift from me. So if you can send your information, your address and everything to shop@fancifulflamingo.com, I will get that pattern out to you. And then for the baskets and butterflies from Liz Matthews, Jane T.R. Cross-Stitch. Jane T.R. Cross-Stitch. You are the winner of Baskets and Butterflies from Liz Matthews. So if you can send me your mailing information to shop@fancifulflamingo.com, I will get the Baskets and Butterflies pattern and the Threadworks floss out to you. And I'll be right back with what I'm gifting, paying forward, whatever you want to call it, for the next time. I might be giving George away in a minute. Ooh, if you have stayed around this long, you are going to be happy that you did, because I have quite a pile to pay it for this time. So what I have decided to do, George, it's okay, in my floss tubes, is if I show a pattern and I finish stitching it, I would like to pay it forward and gift the pattern to another stitcher. So, Be Ye Thankful by Antique Needleworker Shelley. Use the word thankful in your comment if you would like to be considered for this pattern. This is Halloween Alphabet by JBW, which is what was behind me. And if you would like to be considered for this one, just put JBW in your comment. These are the Square Dance spooky little ornaments that I have on my tree by Heart and Hand. So if you would like, this is Square Dance number 3. Just put Square Dance in your comment. I have stitched, and it is shown in my intro, the Alphabet Pumpkin by JBW. It's the one that's on the brown fabric with the white floss. That's how I stitched it. But if you would like this, just put pumpkin in your comment. And then if you would like Pumpkin Row by October House Fiber Arts, just put Pumpkin Row in your comment. And then this one I had in my box, and I am not going to stitch it. It's Halloween Resurrection by Lone Elm Lane. Halloween Resurrection by Lone Elm Lane. And if you would like this, just put Resurrection. And I'm going to open this up to domestic and international, because these are just little charts. So, thank you for sticking around to the very, very, very end, and I promise I am done now. Y'all have a great day.